Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to EA Tetragrammaton, where we are playing This is turn 38. Let's jump into things. I'm still a little bit under the weather, so I apologize in advance for anything odd, but let's jump into things. We have successfully empowered Enchantress 2 in fire, so now we have a fire 2. It's tiny, but we're working our way up. We've done a whole bevy of site searching. We have some successes this turn, but not as many as last turn. Okay. Nothing with this voice, nothing with this auspex, horospex, voice. Dark Knowledge finds us a Lilium Veil, which is 1 death gem. Gnome Lore finds us a Cave of the Pale Ones, which is a death and an earth. Pretty nice. Once we take Mag back, we'll actually have a 6 death income, which is cool. Actually, you'll have a 7 death income. Nothing with the second Gnome Lore, nothing with the Arcane Probing. This is the one that hurts the most, right? Nothing with our horospex. So, our Arcane Probing, we have not found anything with this site searching. We haven't found anything in the 3 locations that are God searched. So 1, 2, 3, 4 sites full searched, 1 searched at 1. That's unfortunate. We have no pearl income, which is really shitty. Like that's bad stuff. Okay. What else do we got going on? We've got a couple of battles that we're in, and a couple of battles that we win. So let's go ahead and just take them in order. So we have a battle in Delka, where Yomi has attacked us. And this is just a small force from Yomi, led by the werewolf that he summoned into the lands to the south, the spot that has the death gems, plus a bunch of Bakemono Sho. Or no. This is a national hero. I want to say, Uhito the Shura. I think so. Which is a kind of cool little thug. Anyways, we're up against a very minor province defense. So our cavalry comes in, does a little bit of damage before getting swarmed and then chopped up. Our infantry comes in, does a little bit of damage before... What the fuck? This is the problem with Bakemono Sho, right? These little boys, these Bakemono Shos, right? They have very low morale, so... when you have a party that is almost entirely made up of Bakemono Sho, you get one too many kills on them and they break. And when they break, right, you run into this scenario of, oh, well, they're weak, right? Yeah, they're weak, but when you have 39 of them and they're at 9 HP per each one of them, right? That's suddenly a whole lot of HP to lose. So it's kind of amusing that this small of a province, because I think this is only 7 province defense, maybe 8, repelled this size of a force. Kind of funny. Okay, we've got a couple of other things. We've got Pan against Kailasa. Watch this real quick. The little force of revelers against pretty much nothing. Revelers have better morale, but you know, they don't have shields, they don't have helmets, so there's the chance, right, that maybe those archers just had the shots of their lives and capped, you know, 10, 15 of them, but that did not happen. In fact, they got none of them. Jeez, out of 6 archers. That entire fight, they got none of these revelers. That's actually pretty bad luck, honestly. Okay. We got a battle in Yomi as Lanka attacks Yomi. So let's watch this. Now this is Lanka's terrifying Palankasha army, right? It is spruced up with a little bit of other things. We've got Raksharajas in here, kitted out slightly, right? We've got that one. We've got this one's got a fucking flesh eater and a vine shield. We've got some Rakshasas down here that are also sacreds. Basically just filling out his big ass double line. Right? Kalamuka warriors. And behind, he's actually got a decent little force of mages, right? Mostly these Raktapadas, right? Which are bloods. But he doesn't really have slaves, like blood slaves or anything like that. So these guys are basically just coming in and acting as priests, which is perfectly fine. He's got some chaff in the rear in case there's some squeaky deaky fly, scenarios. And this is all that's here. It's just simple province defense. So it's got to be the slaughter. Alright, let's take a closer look at this so we can actually see some of the stuff that's going on in play in Yomi's force. So we've got some basic stuff. We've got wooden warriors coming out. We've got blessings down the line, right? Which is probably unnecessary because I did see a prophet in here. Yeah, so we've got a divine blessing coming out. So these guys don't even have to do blessing. They could be doing like Sermon of Courage instead. Though if this guy is going to be doing the... I guess he can't. Oh. Yeah, so Sermons of Courage. Right, a bunch of wooden warriors, bunch of little buffs here or there. Mirror images. So this Raksharaja, for example, right, has basically mist-formed, mirror-imaged, air shield, right? He's pretty tanky, especially with like a vine shield. And with that flesh eater, he's gonna stick in battle. So that's pretty cool. Skeletal body. Smite demon. Had to give one more cast in there, I guess. Okay. So, this is a pretty scary force. Do I think that it is enough to take on the 400, 500-ish, 600-ish units from the Yomi? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. There is definitely the possibility. He's got a much better infantry corps than I do, right? And he does have these thugs, which I think if these thugs stick, they're gonna do a whole helping shit ton of damage. With that being said, I don't know if he's not just gonna get overwhelmed and eventually die. So he did lose 8 units there, mostly from, not even mostly, all from just chaff, right? 2 long deads, 1 long dead Bandar, 2 long dead Markadas, 2 long dead Vinaras, 1 long dead Vinara warrior. Like all of it was from chaff. He didn't lose a single Palankasha, lost nothing else. He does have some Yoginis in here. Okay, these are the ones doing wooden warriors. He has a couple of the Raksharajas, which we saw. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at our battle in the Trackless Waste. We know we're going to lose this unless he faints, which he's not. He sent the whole shebang in. So unless he faints, there was no way that we were going to win this. He's got a spirit helm in there. Who's he got a spirit helm on? He's got a spirit helm on Hiroshi the Prophet. He's got a burning blade, a black steel kite shield, and a spirit helm. Auto casting lightning bolt. That's pretty funny. That's an expensive item, man. Alright. So, we got our buffs that come out. We misform up. We do our... We're about to do our Strength of Giants. There's our Legions of Steel. We kill a whole bunch of wolves. The horde comes rushing through. We're getting all the lightning bolts down. Our infantry, and again, we go to this situation where like our infantry actually holds for quite a while. Interestingly enough, I honestly do think if I'd had 50, maybe, I know if I had 100 more, but I think if I had had 50 more, also I come to this realization, but to finish that point, I think if I had had like 50 more, just mixed infantry between Urguards and Incy's Chosen, right? I think I probably could have held and won that fight. Also, I realize I'm a dumbass from the last scenario. There's a reason, and I'm sure someone's gonna hit me up in the comments, but I've already realized it well before. Damn it. The reason why all of my people start defaulting to spamming Final Rest is because when the demons when they go to their second form, that second form is an undead form. So my people are popping the demons, and then my priests are final resting the demons. And that's why we're actually seeing these pretty decently sized numbers of units die when my guys start final resting. And that's why Lanka has all of those priests, all of those Blood 1 H1 priests out there, right? He doesn't have them out there. He has them out there to be final rest spamming to clear out the Oni spirits when they get popped, which makes perfect sense. So yeah, very cool. All right, so this hurts. We lost a lot of mages here. We lost a very good amount of infantry. We lost, 15 turns worth of Mushushus, etc. I kind of like casually put off this loss last turn, but realistically, this is the type of loss that kind of like puts us out of the, unless something really weird happens, right? And the game goes really long, and we're allowed to do some dumb shit just cause. This is the type of loss that kind of puts us out of the running for a game, right? Or at least this is the type of loss when you're playing in a really competitive game. This is the type of loss where it makes it to where it's your opponent's game to lose at this point. Now, I had already kind of gotten to the point to where I was like, okay, well, look, Pan wins because we missed an opportunity, and I do include myself in that. Missed the opportunity to really do anything about Pan, and Pan's just going to run over everyone. So, but that being said, even in that light, this was a dumb fight to take. Not this fight, but the fight that led to this was a dumb fight to take. But it was that scenario where I was kind of getting bored with the game, and I wanted to just fight. I wanted to see how it goes. And I honestly don't think we were that far off. I think, again, if we had another 50 infantry or so, that we would have been able to hold, and with all of the mages that we had, we were actually doing a good job. So, let's take a look at this. We actually did end up killing 57 units, so slowly but surely whittling down the forces of Yomi. Obviously, he has done way more damage to me than I have to him in this particular situation. But now he has to go deal with Lanka. Or I say he has to go deal with Lanka. He could just come at me. So, let's take a look at what else we've got. We've got famine striking the lands in White Peaks. That's unfortunate. We've got a series of unfortunate events have directed important trade routes to other lands in Sinkhole Swamp. That's also unfortunate. And then we did some patrolling. So what are we doing this turn? Okay, so we have moved our army, NC2, from the concept of heading into Kailasan lands And we are redirecting them back up north to defend our Agarthan lands from Yomi, should Yomi decide that that is the direction that he wants to go. So, if Yomi this turn decides, fuck it, I'm not gonna do anything about Lanka, I'm just gonna be punitive towards which is a possibility, right? He can move into Delka, I would move into He could move into Neotha, I would move into Perenna. He could move on to Agartha, I would be on the Womb. Right? So he could get to and pop Agartha before I could do anything about it. But if he's going to do that, we can very easily move all of our people, well, most of our people out of Agartha and into Perenna. And then we'll be in range to fight in short order, right? We've got a pretty big force here. Not quite as big as our previous force was, but then again, his force also isn't quite as big as his previous force. So this isn't something that I would want to rush, because if I were to lose a second battle against Yomi and this big army, that would be like the nail in the coffin type scenario, right? But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think Yomi is going to turn, go fight Lanka, and see how he does. I have made... I have been talking. I try to be a friendly person, right? Even if I'm in a war with someone, I will, I'll message them when they have a good battle. Like, so Yomi in this particular situation, I messaged them. I was like, holy shit, good fight. You kicked my ass, right? Those whites did a number on my Mushushus. So we talked about it a little bit, got to negotiate. And that's one of the reasons, one, this is a game. I want to be friendly. I want to have a good time. And I want other people to have a good time. Even if I'm losing or they're losing, right? People should still enjoy the game. So I try to have that type of approach when I'm talking to someone. But also, right, I do this, I extend that kind of like discussion point, that negotiation point, because it does sometimes lead to negotiations. And Yomi did basically say, throw me an offer, right? Say, hey, look, I've got all this stuff. I've got big armies. I've got no research, but I've got a shit ton of gems, and I've actually got a lot of items, like owl quills and hammers and things like that. And Yomi basically offered to basically buy me off, right? I have refused for a couple of reasons. But I do want to acknowledge that strategically it is the smart choice. I have no binding with Lanka other than, personal honor to say that I have to stick in this war for X number of turns, right? From the beginning, I didn't really expect to gain a whole lot from this war, and I have already lost quite a bit from the war. So it would be a smart decision for me to just take the offer and run with it, right? Like, try to get a bunch of research items out of it, try to get a couple of Dwarven hammers, maybe get some gems. Like, if I could get some astral gems or something like that, oof, man, that'd be good, right? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna take that because of a number of reasons. One, I'm kinda in that mode where I just want to fight somebody. But two, I do feel like this is where my personal sense of honor makes me not the greatest Dominions player. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes I will take a deal like this, but more often than not, when I'm playing Dominions, if I tell someone, hey, I'm in this war with you, then I'm in this war with them. And I do want to stress, right, the scenario with Kailasa and the coalition against Pan. I had every intention of fighting the war against Pan, 100%. And I would have come in. I would have been opportunistic about it, right? But I would have come in. Except, like, 4 turns into the coalition, Kailasa was like, nope, I'm done. Right? So, like, that type of scenario threw me for a loop, right? Was I being a little shit about it? Absolutely. Was I being I don't know. What I was doing there was cheesy, but it didn't really go against how I felt. This scenario, I don't know. Maybe I'm being wishy-washy, but like in this particular situation, like, I don't want to just be like, okay, well, he kicked my ass. Bye, Lanka. Have fun trying to beat him. I'm in it, right? And I'm partially in it because I want to be doing something right now other than just beefing up my infrastructure and my lands. And the only other doing something I have is attacking Pan. Not going to happen right now. Or attacking Femoria, which I don't think is going to happen right now. So, we're going to mosey on up to Yomi. Also, the other reason why I'm doing this is because I think, realistically, we're probably going to win this. I think Lanka's probably going to lose in a big one-on-one fight against Yomi, but I think he's going to do a shit ton of damage, and then I think we come in and we kind of clean things up. I don't mean like clean everything up, but I mean like take over some portions and hold them, and then Lanka comes in and finishes things. Anyways, that's kind of the generalized board. Movement-wise, and the reason why I'm talking about that rather than everything that I'm doing is this turn really is kind of a boring turn as far as like what's going on. So we have NC2 moving into this turn. We're going to pick up a bunch of forces there. We're heading north with our sorceress to start site searching for astral locations as well, because we're being super unsuccessful with that. We're arcane probing in the womb, hoping that we're actually going to be successful and find some sort of astral site. We're doing a whole shit ton of site searching spells with a bunch of people. We're forging a charcoal shield. We're forging more earth boots. Our charcoal shield is the concept of putting it on the Anunnaki of growth and rebirth. He already has a vine shield inherent, so having a vine shield and a charcoal shield is pretty scary combination. Then we're also going to put a frost brand on him. And he's a hop, skip, and a jump away from being a nightmare, honestly. So that's kind of a situation there. We don't have a helmet, we don't have a body armor, and we don't have boots, mostly because the types of helmets, body armor, and boots that we would really want are either in other paths that we don't really have very good access to yet, like death, right? Giving him a fear helm would be great. Or we don't have the gems. Like, I would love to put a what's it called? A robe of shadows on him, right? For ethereal. That would be great. Can't do that. I would also love to put Boots of the Messenger on him, which I probably will do. I just don't really have I'm trying to be sparing with my forging outside of I'm trying to make sure every time I forge now it goes through a hammer so that we can, be efficient with our gem usage. So we'll probably do that next turn, put some Boots of the Messenger on him, and then we'll have to figure out some scenarios, and then we're probably going to start sending our god into combats, maybe even actually sending it along with this big army. Here's the other thing. We're actually spending some time recruiting galas, because I've talked about this previously. We're doing gala here, gala here. We're gonna do gurus up here. But part of the reason why we're doing that is because I am a little bit below the instant next turn gala revive. So we want to make sure that we are available for that. Our god actually is a pretty legitimate source of power as far as like a super combatant goes. Obviously we don't want to lose him because he is our Mother Oak caster, and we put a whole lot into that. But we were actually kind of quickly approaching the scenario where I don't want to say don't care about Mother Oak anymore, but it's the situation where it's less important, right? Like having an amazing super combatant is more important than having Mother Oak at a certain point in the game, right? And this is also a reason why we're spamming the shit out of Haruspecs, is because we want to make sure that we have covered every inch of our territory as much as we possibly can before we reach that point to where we might not have Mother Oak anymore. Also, we got another Earth random on our Enkidu Shamans, which is actually kind of cool. We're getting another Enkidu Shaman. We're kind of wanting to get a water. I would like to get a water random, and I would like to get a nature random. The water random is very good for a number of different reasons, mainly foul vapors, but the nature random's also really good because it gets us super high nature very easily. The water random is actually kind of the least concerning one because I have so much water that I can just empower someone in water if I need to. So that's kind of that situation. Alright, that's pretty much it for the turn. We're still working towards Alteration 6. Once we get to Alteration 6, we might be spamming some transformations on our Earth, on our Enkidu Shamans. We'll see. I don't honestly know. We've actually got in Bell, right? We've got a lab, and we've got positive luck there. So it's possible that I go for that route, or I could go up to Tenera, where we actually have really positive luck, and I could drop a lab there. We'll see. Anyways, that's going to be it for the turn. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.